More than a century ago, in France, a young chemist named Eugène Schueller had an idea that would eventually change the beauty industry forever. At the time, hair coloring was very different from what people know today. Many hair dyes were reliable and could be harsh. Har- Hairdressers and customers wanted something safer, more consistent, and easier to use. Schuller believed science could provide the answer. He began experimenting with hair color formulas in his small laboratory in Paris. He wasn't starting with a giant company, expensive offices, or a famous brand. He was starting with an idea. His goal was simple: create hair color products that worked well and could be trusted. Every year of experimentation, he developed a hair dye formula that became the foundation of his business. In 1909, Schuller found a company called Société Française de Tortes, inoffensive pour cheveux, meaning the French company of inoffensive hair dyes. This was the beginning of company that would eventually become L'Oreal. Beauty wasn't only about appearance, also involved chemistry research and innovation. Instead of simply copying existing products, he focused on developing new formulas. His scientific background gave the company an advantage. He spent time studying how hair reacted to different substances and how products could be improved. This scientific approach became one of the most important characteristics of the company. The business gradually gained attention among French hairdressers as more professionals tried the product. The company's reputation grew, but Schuler wasn't satisfied with the success in one city. He wanted to build something much larger. The company began expanding beyond France. It developed relationships with hairdressers and distributors in other countries. The beauty industry itself was changing. People were becoming increasingly interested in hairstyles, hair coloring, skin color, skin care, and personal grooming. L'Oreal was positioned to benefit from the transformation. The company continued developing products and expanding its reach. Over time, its name became associated with innovation and professional beauty. But becoming a global company wouldn't happen overnight. It required decades of experimentation, business, decision, marketing, and international expansion. L'Oreal eventually moved beyond hair coloring. The company began developing and acquiring products across different areas of beauty. Hair care became an important part of its business. Skin care became another major area. Cosmetics, fragrances, and professional beauty products followed. Instead of depending on a single product, L'Oreal gradually created a huge portfolio of brands. This became one of the company's greatest strengths. Different brands could appeal to different customers. Some could focus on luxury, others could focus on affordable everyday beauty. Some could target professional salons, others could focus on skincare or cosmetics. This strategy allowed L'Oreal to react and reach people with very difficult tastes or budgets. One of the company's most recognizable names became L'Oréal Paris. The brand eventually became much more than a French beauty label. It became an international name. Its products appeared in stores across numerous countries. The brand focused on making beauty products available to ordinary consumers rather than limiting them to wealthy customers or professional salons. This was an important shift. Beauty was becoming a mass market industry, and L'Oréal Paris was ready for it. During the 20th century, society changed dramatically. Women entered new professions, advertising became more powerful, television transformed popular cultures. Fashion became increasingly international, beauty standards and personal care routine also evolved. L'Oreal adapted to these changes. The company invested heavily in advertising and product development. It understood that selling a beauty product wasn't simply about explaining what the product did. A brand also had to communicate confidence, identity, and aspiration. L'Oreal became expectationally skilled at connecting products with ideas about self expression. One of L'Oreal Paris' most famous advertising message became, "Because you're worth it." The phrase became strongly associated with the brand. Its power came from its simplicity. Instead of suggesting that someone needed a product because they weren't good enough, the message emphasized personal worth. The customer was presented as someone deserving of care and confidence. The slogan became one of the most recognizable advertising lines in the beauty industry. It helped establish a distinctive personality for L'Oréal Paris. L'Oréal understood the importance of becoming famous faces. Over the years, the company worked with numerous internationally recognized models, actresses, singers, and public personalities. These ambassadors helped introduce products to an enormous audience. But the strategy wasn't only about celebrity. The company wanted customers to see themselves presented in the brand. Beauty advertising gradually became more diverse. Different ages, backgrounds, styles, and appearances began appearing in campaigns. This reflected a broader change in how beauty companies communicated with their audience. L'Oreal continued investing in research. Its scientists worked on a few formulas, textures, colors, and technologies. The company established research center and brought together experts from fields including chemistry, biology, and dermatology. Research became a central part of the company's long-term strategy. The logic was straightforward. If consumer expectation changed, beauty product had to change too. Customers wanted products that were convenient. They wanted product that felt good to use. They wanted new colors and textures. They wanted skincare products designed for different needs. L'Oreal attempted to respond to these expectations through continuous innovation. L'Oreal's growth wasn't limited to mass market beauty. The company also expanded strongly into luxury. Through acquisitions and brand developments, L'Oreal became connected with prestigious names in cosmetics, skincare, hair care, and fragrance. This gave the company access to customers at different levels of market. A person might encounter a L'Oreal product in an ordinary supermarket, and other customer might encounter a L'Oreal-owned luxury brand in a high-end department store. The company had created a vast beauty ecosystem. Another important area was professional beauty. Hairdressers and salons needed specialized products. L'Oreal's development brands and services designed specially for professionals. Hair color, styling products, treatments, and salon technologies became important parts of company's business. This created another relationship between L'Oreal and consumers. A person might first experience a product at a professional salon and later purchase related products for the use at home. L'Oreal's international growth continued. The company expanded into Europe, North America, Asia, Latin America, Africa, and other markets. But international expansion wasn't simply about shipping the same product everywhere. Different countries had different beauty traditions. Hair types differed, skin types differed, consumer preferences differed. Climate could also influence beauty routines. L'Oreal therefore had to make understand local markets. The global company needed to think internationally while also responding to local needs. Then another major transformation arrived. The internet the internet changed how people discovered beauty products. Instead of relying entirely on television commercials or magazines, consumers could search online. They could watch tutorials, they could read reviews, they could compare products. Social media transformed beauty even further. Platforms such as YouTube, TikTok allowed ordinary users to influence beauty trends. L'Oreal adapted to this new environment. The company increasingly used digital campaigns, online content, influencers, virtual experiences, and social media. The beauty conversation was no longer controlled only by traditional advertising. Consumers themselves became part of it. The modern beauty customer became more informed. People wanted to know what was inside product. They asked questions about ingredients. They wanted transparency. They wanted products suitable for different skin tones and hair types. They also became more interested in sustainability and ethical business practices. The beauty industry was changing once again. One of the biggest lessons from L'Oreal history is the importance of research. The company didn't remain successful simply because it had famous advertising. Behind the advertisements were laboratories, scientists, products developers, markets, designers, and business teams. The company invested in understanding how product worked. That scientific foundation connected modern L'Oreal to the vision of its founder. Eugene Schueller began with chemistry. More than a century later, research remained central to the company's identity. From one product to thousands. Think about how extraordinary the transformation was. A company that began with hair color research eventually became one of the world's largest beauty companies. Its products and brands enter countless homes. People could encounter its product in pharmacies, supermarkets, salons, department stores, beauty shops, and online marketplaces. It had become a global beauty business. L'Oreal's story offers an important lesson for entrepreneurs. Success doesn't always begin with enormous resources, it can begin with solving one problem. Eugene Schueller saw a problem in hair coloring. He worked on a scientific solution, then he built a business around the solution. The company expanded because it continued adapting. The lesson is simple: start with a real problem, create something useful, and keep improving it. A company that survives for more than a century must constantly change. What customers wanted in 1910 was not the same as what customers wanted in 1950, and what customers wanted in 1950 wasn't the same as what they wanted in 2000s. Today's customers have different expectations again. L'Oreal's long history demonstrates the importance of adoption. The company has repeatedly entered new categories, developed new products, expanded internationally, and embraced new forms of communication. Its survival has depends on its willingness to change. Today, L'Oreal is recognized as one of the world's major beauty companies. Its enormous portfolio include brands serving mass market, professional luxury, and dermatological beauty segments. But behind the global corporation is a much simple story. It began with one person who believed science could improve hair coloring. Eugene Schueller didn't know exactly how large his company would become. He could have he couldn't have predicted social media, online shopping, artificial intelligence, virtual beauty tools, or modern global cosmetics industries. But he had something more important: curiosity. He wanted to discover a better solution. That curiosity became a company. The company became a brand, and the brand became a global business, and the name L'Oreal became recognized around the world. The story of L'Oreal is ultimately not only about cosmetics, it's about how an idea can evolve. A small laboratory experiment can become a business can become an international company, and an international company can influence an entire industry. But the journey is never finished. Every generation brings new customers, new technologies, new expectations, and new challenges. That means even the world's biggest beauty companies must continue learning. The most remarkable part of L'Oreal's history is perhaps its scale. A company that started in France eventually became part of everyday life for consumers across the world. Its products have been used by millions of people. Its advertising has become a part of popular culture. Its research has influenced beauty science, and its brand have become recognizable in countries far beyond France. The journey from a small laboratory to global beauty organization demonstrates how powerful persistence can be. L'Oreal Paris became famous for a simple message: because you're worth it. That message became much larger than an advertisement slogan. The story of L'Oreal Paris is a reminder that when science meets creativity, persistence, and the ability to understand people, a simple idea can become a global legacy. And that is how a French chemist's experiment became the foundation of one of the world's most recognizable beauty companies.